Hey, brothers and sisters, today I have some scripture for you about sacrifice. Going over how I depict sacrifice is giving up something good for something better. And in that regard, you're looking more eternal minded because that is the best. That is better than anything here carnally and fleshly on this world. With that being played out, I'm going to jump into the word, Romans 12:1. I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of Yah, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to Yah, which is your spiritual worship. So not only is he telling you this isn't a one and done aspect, he's telling you present your bodies as a living sacrifice every single day. Sacrifice. That sacrifice eating to who? The Most High. But sacrificing what? The desires of the flesh, the carnal, your own desires. For whose sake? His sake. And in you doing that, that is your worship. That is the ultimate. He specifically says your spiritual worship. That is the ultimate worship. The singing the songs and everything else, yes, those are different forms of worship, but there is no greater worship than to present your bodies as a living sacrifice to the Most High. Therefore, whatever he tells you to do, you do it in obedience. The flesh is weak, but the spirit is what? Willing. You're willing to do it. And therefore, if you're willing, that means you what? Receive the information. You receive the message. You receive the orders, which means you're in a relationship with him. You're hearing him. My sheep know my voice. In order to know what you have to do, you have to get that communication aspect down. So all of it plays in together to intimacy and a connection in order to be a living sacrifice. That is the goal that we want to have, whatever he tells you to do. And you see this all throughout the scriptures with the apostles and the disciples. Matthew, tax collector, when he was telling them to leave their fishing occupations, to just drop and leave everything that you have to come, the young rich ruler. You see it all throughout. It's like, leave everything. That's sacrifice. There's no other aspect to look at it. Yes, it's sacrifice. But, as I said with the definition of sacrifice, looking at it in this regard, giving up something good, because having an occupation, that's good. Working is good. These are things you're supposed to do. But yes, they were leaving something that's good for something that's better, which is following the Most High and doing what the Most High said. Look at Abraham. In an aspect, that's exactly what happened with sacrifice. Sacrifice your son, right? His son, it's not like his son is evil or wicked. His son was good. And yet, he was going to do it because it was sacrifice, giving up something good, his son, which is good, for something what? Better. Why? Because the Most High said to do it. That is the aspect we have to look on. And of course, if he was going to sacrifice his son, he believed that the Most High was able to resurrect him, yes. But regardless, in the short term and the immediate, you were going to lose out. You weren't going to reap that reward for a while. So you have to also understand that in this perspective of sacrifice. You are going to give up something good. And in the short, immediate time, you're not going to have that replacement of better. So it's not like you instantly exchange it, something good for better. It might not be until the day he comes to take you back, where you taste and see the reward for everything you did. Therefore, you're going to have to what? Endurance. And endurance and what? Faith. Tied hand in hand. That yes, he is a rewarder for all the things that you've been doing, the obedience that you've been doing, the things you've been doing when you haven't been seeing the reward. You're like, all I'm doing is giving up good, and I'm getting nothing for it. There's times where it's going to be like that, but keep your heart in check and don't let the adversary creep in to tell you it's not worth it and to quit. That's what he wants you to do. Do not do that. Next up is Ephesians 5:2. And he says, and walk in love as Christ loved us and gave himself up as a fragrant offering and a sacrifice to Yah. Hebrews 13:16. Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to Yah. Once again, share what you have. If you have $100 and you even give all $100 away, and now you have $0, because the Most High kind of put that on your heart to give it to some random person, and then you did it obviously in a fleshly, carnal way, it's gonna be like, what are you doing now? You have no money. You're screwed, right? But obviously, we're not looking at this in the fleshly, carnal way. We're looking at the spiritual way. The Most High told me to do it, so I did it. Period. End of the conversation. And then you don't even go around boasting about what you did. You keep it private, as he says, when you go around boasting about the things that you did, you have your reward, therefore, in itself. You're waiting for the rewarder to give the rewards in due time, therefore you have to patiently endure and have faith. Next up, John 15:13. Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. Obviously, we have the ultimate sacrifice in the Son of the Most High doing that. But we are to what? Represent, imitate, and do those same things. He's saying, you're striving to win, right? You're a warrior, right? You're a winner, right? You're more than a conqueror, right? You're the head and not the tail, right? You're the lender, not the borrower, right? All right, then play to win. And we'll play to dominate. And that is the aspect of him. He's a winner. There is nothing else to be said about it. He's not a win-lose God. He's not a lose-win God. He's a win-win, period. That's all he knows, and that's all he does is win. In that being said, we're set out on that same trajectory, that same aspect, that same desire, that same determination to win, period. And in that, we're hearing that there is no greater love than to lay down your life. Once again, being a what? A living sacrifice, all the way to what? Death. And we see the verses that where he kind of plays that out into, I have on here as well. So Christ this is Hebrews 9:28. So Christ, having been offered once to bear the sins of many, will appear a second time, not to deal with the sin, but to save those who eagerly wait for him. There you go. You already hear it in the time aspect. All along I've been saying, you give up something good, you might have to wait for the reward. Who are those going to be waiting for the reward? Those that are sacrificing. And what are they going to be doing in their waiting? They are going to be what? Eager. He says, he will appear a second time, not to deal with sin, but to save those who are eagerly waiting for him. They're eagerly waiting for the reward. He is the reward, to be with him. They've been giving up everything, day in and day out, sacrificing, being a what? A living sacrifice. And they know the reward. And that doesn't make it easy. They're giving up everything and being patient. Yeah, they're being patient. Yeah, the endurance is being given to them. The strength is being given to them. The faith is being given to them. All via grace and mercy through the Most High. Yes. Point being is, while they're able to do it and doing it because of him, none of that makes it easy. Not a single aspect of it makes it easy. But they understand that warrior mentality, that victorious mentality. They are a winner and they're going to do what it takes. Is it hard? Yep. But in that, they're expecting and waiting for that day where they get rewarded and they can say it was all worth it. In the meantime, they're grinding. It's a mentality every single day. Next up is Psalms 51:17. The sacrifices of Yah are a broken spirit and a broken and contrite heart. O Yah, you will not despise. There we go in the relationship aspect of the sacrifices of him, the things that are of him. It is a broken spirit and it's a contrite heart. Why? Because the world is fallen. The world is broken. People are lost. People are astray. People are in bondage, in slavery, every day, all day. And they have no idea what's going on and or how to get out of it and or how to wake up. And they don't know life. And they don't have hope. They don't have faith. They don't have anything. They're in complete bondage. So of course, the sacrifices of the living Most High are broken, contrite heart. Why? Because you're going to be grieved about things he was grieved about. He was so grieved about him, he sent his one and only son to pay the price for everything. So if he sent his one and only son to sacrifice him in regards, what won't he do? He'll do anything. That's how grieved he was in order to redeem and restore humanity. So do not get it twisted as if he sits there on his high holy throne just looking at us like y'all are pitiful and disgusting with hatred. No, he's been grieved about this the entire time. And yes, he is a winner and victorious, so that's why he sent his one and only son to overcome. But even in that, he's opening his arms that you willfully accept, enjoy it, and unite with him. But if you reject it, he can do nothing about that because that's your own free will. Of course, he can call you and try to set up these meetings and arrangements that where you can come back to him because he wants you and he's trying to have that relationship. But once again, it takes two to have a relationship, two to tango, however you want to look at it. You can't force yourself on somebody. That's not love. That's not love at all. To force somebody to love you, no, that isn't it at all. You would want them to willingly want you as you willingly want them. And that is what the Most High is doing. And in that, he has set everything up to where the door is open for you to come. But if you willfully reject it, that's on your behalf. Next up is we have Luke 9:24. For whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it. So you even hear him there specifically say for my sake, for his sake. And that goes back to the verse earlier about laying down your life for your friends. These are the things the Most High is pleased in, that are honoring to him, glorifying to him, living sacrifice, laying down your life for brothers, fighting for righteousness, for justice, for judgment, for things that are pure, for things that are good, and to not hold on to that which you have, but yet to give that which you have, all the way to the point of giving your life, the highest thing that you possibly can and do have. As the contrast is in the fleshly carnal aspect is the what? Love your life, hold on to your life. And he says those that do that will lose it. If you are stuck on your own greedy desires rather than his, you will forfeit and lose everything. He's like, give up your desires and do what I desire, for what I desire is holy. It's a no contest. It all makes sense. If you look at it in his word and who he is and you get to know him, it all lines up. But if you have a reprobate mind, you walk in the flesh and the carnal, and you give in day and day, and you have a loser's mentality, and you choose easy, you will be defeated and destroyed. Nothing about this is easy. Romans 8:32. He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, how will he not also with him graciously give us all things? I put that verse in there in regards to giving up good for better. He'll give us everything in order to get what he desires done. Have faith. God bless.